Two insurance giants, each promising peace of mind. But when it comes down to it, which one really delivers? On one side, we have the iconic State Farm, a household name in insurance. On the other, the trusted powerhouse Nationwide. Let's skip the buzzwords and dive into what actually matters. We'll score them in key categories, and by the end, you'll know exactly who comes out on top. The winner might just surprise you. First, here's a mind map of everything we're gonna compare: price and discounts, digital tools, customer service, claims experience, coverage options, and financial strength. Kind of a lot, I know, but trust me, it'll all make sense. So, kicking off with price and discounts. State Farm, honestly, is usually the one people mention when they talk about affordable insurance. They tend to have lower premiums, and the list of discounts is impressively, endless. The one gotcha is, it really depends on where you live, so sometimes your rates could swing up. Now, Nationwide, they're honestly great if you're bundling stuff like home and auto. Their safe driver discounts are on point, but for a single standalone policy, sometimes they're not the absolute cheapest. So for price and discounts, State Farm takes it here, no surprises really. Next up, digital tools. State Farm's mobile app is, not kidding, one of the best in the game. People rave about how easy it is to file claims and keep tabs on stuff right on your phone. Now, they are still really into that local agent vibe, so sometimes you need to deal with a real person, which is either nice or not, depending on your style. Nationwide's online tools are pretty solid, and they do have accident forgiveness through the app, which is nice. But yeah, the app itself just isn't quite as smooth as State Farm's. It does what you need, just not as effortlessly. State Farm wins the digital tools round. Alright, moving on to customer service. So State Farm has local agents absolutely everywhere. It's actually wild how many offices there are, and when it comes to those J.D. Power rankings, they're usually right at the top. That being said, sometimes your experience totally depends on your agency, so your mileage may vary. With Nationwide, you've also got good local agent support. Plus, they've earned a bit of a reputation for actually resolving complaints, which is great, but in some regions people do say their claims turnaround can be slow. So honestly, State Farm pulls ahead here. It's that combo of local presence and high marks that clinch it. Oh, and here's a fun little piece of trivia for you. Did you know State Farm actually got its start way back in 1922 as a mutual auto insurer? And Nationwide wasn't far behind, starting in 1926 for rural farmers. Kinda cool, right? Both have those deep homegrown roots. Let's talk claims. State Farm's pretty famous for easy, fast claims. There's 24/7 support, and you can even do the whole thing from your phone. Every so often, your speed can depend on your agent, but overall it's super smooth. Nationwide is good for straightforward stuff. They keep it moving and customers are generally satisfied. But there are a few more negative stories floating around out there about tricky or slow claims, so that's worth watching. State Farm stays out in front for claims experience. Alright, coverage options. Now this is where things get a little interesting. State Farm has a really solid menu of what I'd call classic coverage, and their add-ons are really practical, but if you're looking for something out of the ordinary, there aren't a ton of quirky or niche options. Now, here's something cool about Nationwide. They have stuff like vanishing deductibles, pet damage, even identity theft protection. Seriously, that's wild. Only thing is, if you pile on those unique coverages, it can bump up your price pretty quickly. Nationwide takes it for coverage variety, no doubt. Last up, financial strength. This is the part nobody talks about until a company goes bust, but it matters way more than it seems. State Farm has an A++ from AM Best, which is basically the highest score you can get, so yeah, they're rock solid. Nationwide is still great. A+ is nothing to sneeze at, but technically State Farm is a bit stronger here. That's some serious peace of mind. So yeah, State Farm edges out Nationwide for financial stability. If you're a numbers person, picture this: our comparison on a radar chart. You'd see State Farm leading in most categories except for coverage variety, where Nationwide stands out. They're both competitive, but each has that one area where they really shine. Okay, time for my honest take. If what you want is solid, reliable support from a local agent, super easy digital stuff, and knowing your company's financially bulletproof, State Farm is just so hard to beat. But hey, if you love customizing your policy, want cool extras most companies don't offer, or you're big on bundling, Nationwide is legit. For most people though, State Farm is the one I'd probably steer you towards. If you liked this deep dive, don't forget to hit subscribe for more comparisons just like this one. There's so much to insurance and I'm here to make it all way less confusing. See you in the next one.